In this video, we're going to go through how to do the balancing chemical reactions worksheet that you have for homework. Now, many students are sitting there and thinking, I don't understand this at all. I don't get it. I don't know what you mean by balance a chemical reaction. And that's what I'm going to show you right here. But this worksheet is all about practicing and making sure that everything that you have on the left of the reaction in the reactants, you also have on the right of the reaction in the products. So I'm going to look at question number 1, and it says SO2 reacts with O2 to produce SO3. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a table. And in that table, I'm going to split it into my reactants and my products. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to break my table down into the elements that I have. So I have sulfur and I have oxygen. So when I look at the left side of my reaction, I have 1 sulfur. So I'm going to put 1 in the reactants. And when I look on the right side, I have 1 sulfur on the products. Then when I look at my oxygens, I have 2 oxygens and another 2 oxygens. So I have 4 oxygens here, but I have 3 there. Okay. So I need to balance out this 3 and that 4 because those 2 numbers need to be exactly the same. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to see if multiplying this by 2 is going to work. So I'm going to put a 2 in front. Now, something to remember when you're balancing a chemical reaction, once you have your compounds formed, you cannot change the subscripts. I cannot change the numbers down here. I can only change the coefficients, which are the numbers that are in the front. Okay. The second thing that you need to remember is that you always want to make sure that you're following the law of conservation of mass. So you want to make sure that the mass on the left side is equal to the mass on the right side. So when I look at this, I now have 2 sulfur and I have 3 times 2 is 6 oxygen. Okay. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to change my sulfurs on the left side on my reactant side. So I'm going to put a 2 over on my reactants. And that's going to end up giving me 2 sulfur there. And then I have 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2, I have 6 oxygens. And now you can check my sulfur is balanced, my oxygen is balanced. Okay, so that's going to be your balanced chemical equation. Okay, now if I looked at my next question, and I'm just going to get you started on this next question, I'm going to break that into my reactants and my products. And what are my elements that I have? The elements that I have in this reaction are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So starting off before it is balanced, I have on the left-hand side, I have 1 carbon. On the right-hand side, I have 1 carbon. I'm going to put 1 on both sides. On the left side, I have 4 hydrogens, and on the right side, I have 2 hydrogens. And then finally, on the left side, I have 2 oxygens, and on the right side, I have 3 oxygens. So now the goal here is for you to get your hydrogens balanced on both sides, as well as your oxygens balanced on both sides. Now, it might take a little bit of going back and forth. It's going to take some process elimination. And in doing that, I promise you, you will get quicker at doing this. But this is one of those things that you have to do by practicing. Okay. Now, going to the bottom of this sheet, we have we're going to have our writing our balanced equation, okay? And we need to remember to include our solid, liquid, gas, and aqueous when appropriate or when we have that information. So when a solution of hydrogen chloride, so it's a solution of hydrogen chloride, so solution means aqueous, is added is a plus charge to solid. Solid is going to be S, sodium bicarbonate, and I've even given you sodium bicarbonate. So the first thing that I need to see is, what is hydrogen chloride? Well, hydrogen tends to form a +1 charge, and chloride tends to form a -1 charge. So a +1 and a -1 will cancel. So I have hydrogen chloride, and because it's a solution, that's going to be AQ, aqueous, is added to solid sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3, and that's going to be solid. And it says the products are, so to produce carbon dioxide, we know carbon dioxide is 1 carbon, di is 2, so 2 oxygens, and we know carbon dioxide is a gas. Water, we know is H2O, and it's a liquid. And aqueous sodium chloride, so NaCl, and that's aqueous. Okay. And then the next thing that we need to do is balance it. So I'm going to look on both sides. On my left side, I have 2 hydrogens. On my right side, I have 2 hydrogens. On my left side, I have 1 Cl. On my right side, I have 1 Cl. On my left side, I have 1 Na. On my right side, I have 1 Na. On my left side, I have 1 carbon. Right side, I have 1 carbon. And then on my left side, I have 3 oxygens. And on my right side, I have 2 plus 1 gives me 3. So this is balanced. So that's how you would answer question number 1 here. So on the first part, you're going to balance the chemical reactions when I've already given you the formulas. And then on the bottom part, you're going to write the formula from the word equation. So word equation, translate it to the chemical equation, and then you're going to go ahead and balance that. If you have any questions, please be sure to reach out. Let me know if I can help you.